All right, so draft underway here in day 3, which is one of the more interesting, days of the draft. It's one of the more important days of the draft, although also one of the days where we don't know as much, just because, obviously the more exciting picks to talk about are the higher ones. But I think this is an exciting pick, so I'm obviously not going to make a video about all or even most of these day 3 picks, but the occasional one that I like, I'll make a video on. And for my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, getting Cade Otton out of Washington, tight end, who I like. I think is a solid player. He did make my top 5 tight ends list. I kind of like getting tight ends here early day 3. 4th round pick. It's good value for a guy like Otton, who I think could be a solid role player, which that's how Tampa Bay operates, right? This is not a team who is trying to get just pure best player available. That almost doesn't even seem like it's part of like their strategy whatsoever, is to say, okay, who's the best player we can get? They seemingly care way more about helping their team now. Who can I get that's going to help us win a Super Bowl the following year? And Cade Otton, if nothing else, feels like Rob Gronkowski insurance, right? Gronkowski is not under contract, but with Cade Otton, you kind of don't necessarily need him. Obviously, you would still like to have Rob Gronkowski, but, for all we know, Rob Gronkowski will say, hey, I'm done playing. I want to hang it up. He's done that before. Or, it's also possible that I think with someone like Gronkowski that, he could get hurt. That has happened. That happened last year. He's been banged up over his career. So getting a guy like Cade Otton, and now he can pair with Cameron Brate in a really interesting way. My thoughts on Otton himself as a player, guy who has, solid frame at 6'5", 250, kind of, a solid frame for a tight end. I feel like in the receiving game, he's nothing crazy. He can run routes okay, and he can get into his spot versus zone, well enough. But that's purely what he's going to be. He's going to be in the receiving game, just a guy who, will get into his spot and catch the ball. Really what he's getting drafted for, I think, is to be more of a complete tight end, more of a blocker type for, Tampa Bay, who could use that. They do like to play a decent amount of, multiple tight end sets. And so, OJ Howard did still get some playing time. Like you still do have to replace him. Maybe you don't have to replace him, with a fringe top 100 pick, but you did have to replace him at some point. So getting a guy who can replace him certainly will help with that. And then there's the potential of him being even more than that. He's also someone who, again, kind of finishing up my thoughts on him, he's not necessarily explosive at anything. I don't think he's not necessarily explosive or outstanding at anything. That's kind of the main knock on him. That's why he fell, but I think he should be a solid player. So that's what I think about Cade Otton. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Cade Otton? Round 3 officially underway. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.